A healthcare company is on pace to make $1.8 billion this year. It has no employees, not 5, not 50, 0. And the theory that explains exactly why this works is almost 90 years old. The company is called Medvi. It serves 250,000 customers. It runs at a 16.2% profit margin, which is healthy even for businesses with full staff. No call center, no HR department, no office full of coordinators. Just one founder, a stack of AI systems, and a small group of contractors brought in only when judgment is required. Your first instinct is probably the same one most people have. Surely you need people to run something this size. Surely growth means headcount. That instinct isn't random. It comes from a question economists have been arguing about since 1937. That year, a 26-year-old economist named Ronald Coase asked something that sounds almost too simple. If markets are so efficient, why do companies exist at all? Why doesn't every task just get bought and sold on the open market, moment to moment, instead of bundled inside a business with employees? His answer became known as the theory of the firm, and later, Coase's theorem. Companies exist, he argued, because using the open market has hidden costs. You have to find the right person, negotiate the price, write the contract, check the work. Coase called these transaction costs. When those costs get high enough, it's cheaper to just hire someone full-time and skip the negotiation every single day. That's why firms exist, not because markets fail, but because coordinating people inside one roof used to be cheaper than coordinating them across many. Here's the part that changes everything. Those transaction costs Coase described, the searching, the negotiating, the monitoring, are exactly what AI tools have been quietly collapsing for the last few years. Finding a contractor used to take days. Now a tool can shortlist one in minutes. Writing a brief used to take a meeting. Now a system drafts it in seconds. Checking work used to mean a manager reviewing every file. Now an AI agent flags problems before a human even opens the document. When the cost of coordinating outside your walls drops close to zero, the original reason for building a firm full of employees starts to disappear too. That's not a theory anymore. That's Medvi's actual balance sheet. Carl runs a small design agency, 3 years in, mostly solo. With a rotating bench of freelance illustrators, he calls in for bigger jobs. Last month, he landed his biggest client yet, a regional retail chain that wanted a full rebrand. His first thought wasn't excitement, it was dread. He pulled up a spreadsheet and started pricing out a project manager and 2 junior designers. Why? Because for years, growth has only ever meant one thing to Carl. More clients equals more hands. It's the assumption almost every solopreneur inherits without question. But look at what Carl actually needed help with. Not the design work itself, that part he was good at and genuinely enjoyed. What scared him was the coordination, chasing approvals, organizing 50 rounds of client feedback, tracking which file version was current, sending status updates so the client didn't panic and email him twice a day. Those are transaction costs. Almost exactly the kind Coase described in 1937, just dressed up in modern language. So instead of hiring, Carl tried something smaller first. He set up an AI assistant to handle client intake, organize feedback into a single running brief, and draft weekly status updates for his review before sending. He kept one freelance illustrator on call for overflow design work, the same arrangement he already trusted. 3 weeks in, something became obvious. The coordination chaos that used to eat his evenings had mostly disappeared, not because the work got easier, because the expensive part, the searching and negotiating and monitoring, got nearly free. What was left for Carl to actually do by hand was narrow and specific, final creative calls. The client relationship itself. The judgment a tool still can't fake. This is the mirror worth holding up to your own business right now. Hiring isn't free, and it never was. Every employee you bring on doesn't just cost a salary. It costs management time, training, oversight, the constant low hum of coordination that Coase identified generations ago. For decades, that cost was simply unavoidable if you wanted to grow. It isn't unavoidable anymore. That doesn't mean never hire. Medvi still has a sole human founder watching for the moments automated systems get something wrong because someone has to be the backstop. The question worth asking before your next hire isn't, can I afford this person? It's narrower than that. What specific judgment, relationship, or decision actually requires a human in this exact spot? And what's left over that's really just coordination dressed up as a job description? Picture two versions of Carl a year from now. In one, he hired the project manager and two designers he priced out that day. He's managing people now instead of designing. His margin is thinner. His calendar is full of one-on-ones instead of client work he actually loves. In the other, the one Carl is actually building, he's still solo. His revenue from that retail rebrand client funded two more accounts the same size, run the same lean way. His days look almost identical to a year ago, except the chaos is gone and the margin is wider. Same person, same skill. A completely different shape of business. Coase never imagined AI when he wrote his theory in 1937. He was just trying to explain why companies exist. But the answer he landed on, that firms are built to manage the cost of coordination, turned out to be the exact thing technology eventually came for. Medvi didn't break the rules of business. It just got to live in a world where the oldest reason for hiring quietly stopped applying.